Hi guys, well, it's the Friday before Christmas, and all through the house I am just sitting here and nothing defrosted for dinner. So I think I'm going to take a nap, but before that I want to regale you with a story I read in the Times. I printed it out here and I've made it a little bit short. I'll condense it as I would have condensed it had I been reading it on the radio. So you can close your eyes if you like. The title of it is Secret Santa Leaves 2-year-old girl gifts for the next 14 Christmases. But this is not true because the Santa is not a secret. The story comes out of London. As an adult, Owen Williams had long stopped believing in Santa Claus, but this week he regaled Twitter with the tale of a secret Santa in Wales, a neighbor who left Mr. Williams' young daughter 14 years of Christmas gifts. The neighbor, Ken Watson, was a widower and Renaissance man who had become fond of Mr. Williams' 2.5-year-old daughter, Katie. He died recently, in his 80s. Her parents told the BBC that he had doted on her. Mr. Watson had 2 children of his own, but no grandchildren. He had shown grandfatherly love to the children of his neighborhood in southern Wales. Mr. Watson, former baker, carpenter, salvage diver, competitive parachute jumper, and accordion player, had been writing a novel before he died. On Monday, Mr. Williams recounted opening the door to his home to find his neighbor's daughter standing there and clutching a sack filled with colorfully wrapped presents. He always told us he lived till he was 100 years old, Mr. Williams wrote on Twitter, so these gifts would have taken him up to our little girl's 16th Christmas. After the initial shock, Mr. Williams and his wife were faced with a conundrum. Should they open all the presents right away and rewrap them to be given out in age-appropriate order, or should they give their daughter one randomly picked gift each Christmas? Well, they went to Twitter, and they got 67,022 votes on this. The verdict was, the Williamses should leave the presents as they are. Katie is still in the dark about it. She's too young to understand, said her father, who acknowledged in a Twitter exchange on Wednesday he was overwhelmed by the media attention, but will certainly be heeding the results of the Twitter poll and turning Ken's Christmas miracle into an annual tradition. More than 39,000 Twitter users had liked Mr. Williams' initial tweet by Wednesday, but several people said they were frankly bewildered by Mr. Watson's generosity. Now, what kind of world is this where love is bewildering? Could you just imagine this guy? No grandchildren of his own, knowing he may not be around. Seeing this little girl and imagining what she'd be like as she grew up. The joy he had wrapping those things. Just imagining what she'd be like in the years to come. And you don't know what kind of life this girl's going to have. Maybe something will happen to her parents. Maybe they won't have money. Maybe she'll have some really rough years ahead of her because you know how rough the world gets. Maybe some years she'll just laugh at the presents, but she'll have that thing, that one thing from Ken whose love for her goes beyond his death. And why is that bewildering? It reminds me of Scrooge, if you know Christmas Carol. What scared Mr. Scrooge was not so much that he would die alone, but that he would die unremembered. And this way, Ken, whoever he is, wherever he is now, whether he can see this little girl growing or not, did take with him the memory of her. And it would be really good if Katie wrote a book about this. Could you imagine, like, when she's 16 or 17 or 18, writing about Ken's Christmas miracle? That's not bewildering at all. That's effing wonderful. So I'll probably be talking to you during this coming Christmas week. I just wanted to share this with you, that I found it really sad that people didn't understand it. Didn't understand his generosity. Didn't get it. How do you not get it? Well, talk to you soon. Bye.